Hello and welcome back, or welcome for the first time, I should say, to my stream, Tesla and Dragons, where we mainly go over adaptive Dungeons and Dragons games. However, recently my patron of 20 years has decided that my position at their adventuring troop is no longer essential for their expanded power base. So I am currently without a patron, or potentially without a patron, as things are very much in limbo at the moment. And I figured instead of wallowing in my existential dread in questioning the last 20 years of my devotion to this company, why not talk about TTRPGs? And mainly Dungeons and Dragons, but this is going to be about just applicable, hopefully, for every game system that's out there. I've been running games for quite a long time, exclusively being a Forever DM. For most of that time recently, I got into live streams watching Deborah Ann Wall, Dungeon Dudes, Critical Role a little bit. But yeah, I've absolutely got hooked. And one thing I've focused on with my friends is player engagement. Player engagement is one of those things that for me seems very tricky to just get that fine balance to make it work just right. I have players on both ends of the spectrum. Some of them absolutely want to dive in and storycraft and world build, and I have other ones that simply say they can't think of any ideas, and they don't really want to try. Which is unfortunate because I know that's not true. All my friends are amazing, imaginative people with amazing ideas, and sometimes it just takes the right format or right trigger to get those ideas to come out of them. And that's something I've been trying to work on for a while, I guess, as DM. And I've come up with a few ideas to make that work. So I guess this first series in how many videos, I'm not quite sure yet. We'll be talking about provider engagement and what I've done to try to get people into world building and just engaging in the world. Because they're very much like that sandbox feel. So this first couple ideas is something I've recently implemented. One in our Dungeons and Dragons game. Also, I'm implementing it in a Daggerheart game because Daggerheart is the new shiny game system out there from Darrington Press. It really is quite cool. It's really narrative, and it really does focus on getting that provider engagement, everyone coming to the table and world building together. So there's a couple things I'm going to show that I've done to try to get the players involved in this aspect. All right, let's go ahead. Mainly we play on Roll20, so that gives me a couple of different ideas to play around with. So let's go to Roll20 and we will talk about what we got here. This little building, mishmash building, is called the Repentant. It is going to be the players' uh, home base, or at least their starting base, in the Daggerheart campaign that we're starting called Dawn Wall. Essentially, the city is going to be attacked and they're going to be under siege. This is where they're going to be starting. It is going to be during a celebration that the city has every year. And this is where the party finds themselves celebrating. So, as you see, I have a bunch of shapes and colors items. The colors are, of course, intentional. Each color represents a choice for the players. I didn't choose to put these items here. These were all chosen by the players themselves. Someone decided we need a fighting pit. Someone decided we need an item gift shop. Someone decided the bar needs a casino. Someone decided we need a stage, concert hall, and then of course someone decided we need a graveyard slash garden. So this is a self-sustaining, you know, bar in a tavern. They grow their own vegetables using the victims of the fighting pit to fertilize the field. I didn't make this up. This is something my players came up with on their own, and it is going to be great, especially for the use of story plot and as well as maybe some monsters popping out of there. Who knows? I mean, not me. I'm just the dungeon master. So, anyways, to make it easier for them, I said, don't worry about essential things that could come with a bar. There's an upstairs that has the bedrooms. There's a basement level that has all the cooking and food item stuff. All they had to do is make the things that they thought was cool and important for their characters to have. And that one, it tells me a little bit about their characters. It tells me if they made an item gift shop, their character really thought, shopping is cool, or they really wanted to practice. Someone was practical and was like, we really need a spot to buy items. So I was like, okay, part of this is going to be game is now going to be building this item gift shop so they can continue to get better and stronger goods, which will be done through quests and adventures that they have to go out in the city, securing trade lines and finding merchants to that will be willing to like filter goods into this gift shop. Someone decided to make a concert hall. They were barred. It makes sense. A lot of things can happen in a concert hall, which will be great. Someone made a casino. Just a lot of random, maybe some gambling can happen, maybe some card games for some information. Um, the graveyard garden. Um, yeah, so many. I mean, healthy vegetables, are, of course, important for day-to-day adventures. We've all seen Delicious in Dungeons. Having a well-balanced meal and sleeping a full 8 hours is essential for adventuring, right? So we're obviously going to have some healthy vegetables here. But maybe while the city is getting overrun by hellspawn, maybe something else comes out of this garden. Who knows? Again, I'm just a dungeon master. I don't know these things. Of course, we have the fighting pit that is produces the fertilizer nutrients for the garden. This is, of course, a small arena. That there'll be some battles and maybe some challengers will come their way. And they have to fight some battles in there, some one-on-one fights, or maybe some, 2-on-2, some tag fights. Um, it's definitely going to be WWE coded. I mean, why not? It sounds the funnest for me. So, yeah, promos, steel chairs, cages, the whole works. It's going to be great. And the players got to decide all this. This is the stuff the players added to the world. And I think this is a great start because now they put something into this shop or into this bar that is going to continuously grow with the story. I mean, having someone meet them at the casino and be like, hey, I do have some information for you, but I'm not giving it to you for free. You're going to have to win it from me. Or maybe there's an item they need and they're going to be like, it's at the casino now. You have to win it from the casino or try to take it. It's up to you. Um, so it's going to be some great story opportunities just from this bar, which is great. Um, Great starting point. They're going to have some ties to it. They're going to want to defend it. Hopefully, who knows? But that's just the beginning of what we started. The second part, extending on this idea, is I made a map. And here's our little bar again, the crazy shaped bar with its arena and all its little things. Right here on a world map. So this is one grid, one spot for the map. This is a sprawling, massive city. It's gonna include many, many of these little squares maps to be included. I labeled this grid 00 as a way to kind of keep it organized, but we'll see how it goes. It's probably going to send into chaos pretty quickly. Um, but I included a bunch of shapes, bunch of buildings, bunch of shapes. The players, just like they did in the bar, can decide what these are. And whatever they decide these are is going to be related to their story. I mean, maybe there's a blacksmith um, located here that will be able to supply some weapons and armor. Maybe there's this is a bigger fighting pit, or maybe it's a coal mine. Who knows? The players can label anything on the map. It doesn't even have to be a building. It could be maybe there's something special about this road. Maybe there's something special about this patch of grass. It really is up to the players to tell me what they want to do with these buildings. Um, and of course, I will have a sort of central story weaving throughout these things, and whatever they choose is going to alter and adjust that central story as we continue on. So if they double down on the merchants, the items, I'll have to double down as well and make that more and more part of the story that we deal with. This is going to give the players more control, more narrative control over the story, hopefully increasing their buy-in and their engagement with what's going on in the game itself. It to me is exciting because it gives me a chance to really play with them and be like, okay, you want to have this be a concert hall, like a concert hall. What are you going to find there? It could be anything. Most likely some kind of mutated Muppet themed monstrosity. But we'll get to that in a second. As a second idea I have for this game comes from random encounters. Random encounters are one of those things that you can really like or really just not or just hate. It can be used to build a story or it could be used just to be a filler. I've definitely seen them where they're just random threats that have nothing to do with the overall story, and they're just there. Some random wolves, a random wandering monster. Um, and some people like to do that. It's great. I kind of find that a little boring at times to just be like, oh, we're in a good story groove. We just used our last resources and it's time for a short rest or a long rest. Oh, we don't get the rest because of a random monster. I mean, that can eventually be brutal on the party as we run our resources, run our hit points. It can be tough. So for this game, and actually for my recent Dungeon Dragons game, I have started making a random chart for every player. Every player rolls a random encounter dice. So if each character is rolling a random encounter dice, each character has a chance of triggering a random encounter. So for my game in Dungeons and Dragons, which I started this with, each player's random encounter roll is tied to a specific storyline that goes back to their character. So that way, if they roll a random encounter, it will be forwarding their personal story, and it will allow them to maybe they know a little bit more about what's happening in the random encounter, but at the same time, they also know that it's going to be something related to the character. So it makes it maybe a little bit more exciting, a little bit more worthwhile to roll a random encounter. And I will probably let the characters decide how much random encounters they want. If they don't want a lot, we'll probably roll on a D10 or a D20. If they want more, we'll probably roll on a D6. I wouldn't go as far as a D4. That seems a bit much. But what I would do is I'll make a random encounter table. I'm going to start with the first character, whose name is Daddy of all things. Daddy is our gladiator, so his random encounters are going to be based on gladiator events. He's got a little bit more going on, but specifically, his unique thing is he's his gladiator events. So maybe a random challenger, maybe a random fan will find him. It can be just about anything. For Kremet, this is going to be based on his band. Kremet, like his namesake, was part of a large forming band that had a show, the Muppet Show, and now all the Muppets are located here in Donwall, and something strange is going on with them. So as he is rolling these encounters and going to his locations, he's unraveling that mystery of what's happening to his friends. Hopefully he finds a way to save them because there's going to be some stuff happening. So I'm going to put down band reunion for him. Just a little note to tell me, oh, this is going to be about his band. Um, Everyone is going to be fairly personalized. For your group, you're going to want to do this the same. Find something that you think your character is going to find amusing. Serafina, um, for her background, she had a question that she answered was, "What was your first wild animal that you bonded with?" She said her pet cat. So, um, is it a wild animal that was treated like a cat, or is it a cat that thinks it's a truly ferocious wild animal? But either way, that is going to come up in the game, and this is going to be part of the animal mafia storyline that is going to happen for her character. So anytime she rolls a random encounter, it's going to be some sort of random creature that she can interact with. Strawman is going to be our Clank, and he added to the world that Clanks are very rare. Clanks are created by high-powered wizards. The creation of these are very specific and controlled. Strawman wants to change that. He wants to liberate the Clanks, liberate the robots, so to speak. So his story is going to be about encountering mysterious Clanks. I'm thinking very much Final Fantasy X vibes. Uh, I don't know how to spell. Serious Clanks. And finally, we have Zoc, who also helped add a little bit to the story. Apparently, the primary tribe or group of orcs is a nomadic raiding group, and they travel to a horrible island called the Dead Island, where they are imbued with strange and horrible powers. And this group strikes fear into many people, so he's going to encounter them. And we're just call it the War Band. All right, and the only other thing I do with this is I do roll d10. One is a minor encounter, very simple. Two is a moderate encounter, or I should say through two through five, two through two through five. It's a moderate encounter. 6 through 9 is a difficult encounter, and 10 is a deadly encounter. So now we have two sets. We have one, a probability that each one of these characters can have a random encounter. Now the difficulty is also randomized, and multiple people can roll a random encounter at the same time. In which case, they both roll a d10, and both of those things happen at the same time, which is great again for story making purposes. In my Dungeons and Dragons game, I did not plan on having a rattling start haphazardly opening portals to the void to unleash horrible eldritch monstrosities onto the world. But thanks to a random counter, now one of their allies or former allies is now haphazardly opening up portals to the void and letting in eldritch monstrosities. So I mean, it's a great story twist, a great way to get the players involved and engaged. They were very excited for that encounter. Probably the most excited they've been in a while for an encounter. And it was a great story beat for all people involved. I think this is a great way to get players engaged. But tell me what you think. Let me know in the comments if you have any suggestions or if you have your own way of doing random encounters. Thank you very much for watching. This is the first in a series of I don't know what as I try to decide what the heck is going on with my life. Anyways, thank you for watching. I think I said that before. Please stay safe and stay healthy, and hopefully, I will see you again.